Just a few minutes behind schedule, but I think I'll be all right.
By Jove, it looks good.
Lovely, that's that.
And you've got to smile because it's a smile recognition.
Is it?
Is it too big, Carl?
No. If the festival administrator can't have a big one, then who can? Okay, good.
I think it has a high importance in the cultural life of the UK. For a start, it's the oldest music festival of this kind still going in the world, and we can trace its origins back 3 centuries, which is no one else, not even the proms or anything like that, can compete.
My family been involved with it forever. I have worked for the festival for 7 years, but prior to that I was actually a performer, and I was a soloist for choral societies and sang in big concert halls, and unfortunately I had to stop my singing career because I developed a polyp on my vocal cords. So I then became an administrator and worked on the other side of the fence.
I think this is the only music festival which is effectively organised by its audience. And it wasn't until 2008 that this group decided that they needed to additionally employ some professionals to interact with the contemporary classical music world, which is a professional one. So there's now a small team of us working to support the volunteers, working on a professional basis.
Here we have about 1,000 seats, and to get the seats, the tiered seating, we have to build a scaffolding underneath the seats. Prior to putting the seats up though, the one thing we have to do is cover Dr. Jenner. There's a marble statue of Dr. Jenner which has to be covered to make sure that under no circumstances is he damaged at all. So in essence, Dr. Jenner is never allowed to watch the festival, he's only allowed to hear it. Seating is also provided not only on the sides of the nave, but also in the south transept and in the ambulatory. To cover for the people in those seats, we provide television screens.
The golden era was the early years of the 20th century, when we had all the great British composers like Elgar and Vaughan Williams and Delius in their prime, conducting here and having premieres of their works.
Is there a Swedish connection?
The only Swedish connection, and this is actually quite a funny story, was that in 1848, Jenny Lind, the Swedish nightingale, was invited to perform at the Worcester Festival, and she was offered a fee of 500 guineas. Now, the equivalent money today is about £290,000. That's enormous, and she turned it down.
Really?
Does Ellis Pekkonen count as Finnish? His father was Finnish.
I don't even know who it is.
Can I introduce you to Dominic? He's the general manager.
Mr. Ashkenazi, delighted to meet you. It's fantastic to have you here. Thank you so much for coming.
Great.
Are you comfortable? You've been playing the piano this morning in our friend Joel Horowitz' house.
Fine.
Great.
Yeah,
And that was all sorted out in the end.
Yes,
Brilliant.
lovely people.
Oh yeah, well you'll have a lovely time, and anything you need, just let us know, and
Thank you.
We'll sort things out. So very much looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Thank you. Thanks. Sorry, I was going to introduce you as well.
Oh no, it's fine. No, I'm going to go and have a quick chat to Vicky.
Yeah, fine. Okay, great. He's a real gentleman, I gather. We had some difficulties getting him to the right rehearsal space this morning, and he was very relaxed about it. So that's what we like in our maestros.
relaxed ones.
I think it's transport file, and there's a folder in there which is the details of the transport we've got arranged, and Paul's number is in there. Over.
I'm afraid you can't go in at the moment while the concert is on, but please come back when the concert is over.
Okay.
You have to have a coffee. You can come in through that way. You'll be at least able to see the cloisters.
Okay.
There won't be any public opening time.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Excuse me.
Something. Right.
We had a lady fall over on the ramp bit there earlier on. She broke a tooth, and the first aiders have got her sorted, but they're going to take her into hospital, and obviously the ambulance has come to just pick her up, but I think she's down there and they're up there. I'll leave them to sort that.
We had a very hectic first day, all kinds of minor disasters with places not being open when Vladimir Ashkenazy arrived, so that involved lots of running around. Other than that, we've had some boring moments as well, sitting on car parks for long periods of time, but lots of entertainment from crosswords. Got two elder brothers, and obviously the festival comes around every 3 years, so 3 years ago it was my middle brother, as it were, and then 3 years previous to that as my eldest brother had this job of the head gopher, so everyone says who's going to do it next time it comes round, but we'll see about that. We'll have to pass it on to another family, I think. The most exciting part of our role really is when we get to go on stage and present the soloists and the conductor with their flowers at the end of the evening concerts. So that's usually something that people look forward to, and they always want to get the soloist that they're most a fan of. So I wanted to have Vladimir Ashkenazy when he came on the first day. Although he's very short, I wondered if he was going to go in for a kiss on the cheek, but luckily he didn't, because I would have had to bend down a long way. He's very nice though, just remarkably short.
Either day is fine. In that case, we go for the third. 2011 in Worcester was my first festival. There you go. And I'll write you in. I'm the sort of permanent member of staff that looks after all this sort of side of the operation in every festival.
In the second row, and then I've got
a goodly proportion of the income is from tickets. It's about half. It's pretty important. Really nice to meet you too. Hi. From next year onwards, I'm going to have more responsibility for marketing so that Debbie can have time to concentrate on the fundraising. So then I will be able to have a more sort of active role in actually getting people to buy the tickets as well as selling them. So that will be fun.
I got home last night and had a very large gin and tonic.
I hope so.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it was quite a big day.
Part of my role is to meet and greet press and sponsors during festival week, which is quite a nice job actually, because I call it boozing and schmoozing all week, rather than getting embroiled in the heavy logistics. I get to just go and say hello to everyone and go to lots of receptions and make sure they're all happy.
And then I was a BBC producer and I've produced at the festival, but this is the first time I've actually sat in the audience and listened to the festival.
I try in the first weekend just to say hello to all our main sponsors and to try and make sure that any sponsors that are around that might be interested in sponsoring next year get nobbled in some way or another. So it's always good to do a sort of face-to-face.
This morning there's a recital by Roderick Williams, who is one of the world's greatest baritones, of songs of Torsten Rasch. I was particularly keen that he do a poem by Alan Lewis, who is one of the best, if not the best, Second World War poet. And there are 2 other songs by Ivor Gurney, so there are 4 songs. We're very excited. We've sold out pretty much before public booking went on sale. We have a huge tradition of choral singing. If we didn't commission new music, we'd still only be singing Purcell. Throughout, you have to keep commissioning new music because otherwise you die. As a festival and as a musician, unless you look at what's new and commission it, you die. And the whole art form would die. I think I'm going to hear something, I know I'm going to hear something that fits that description. So you may find me having to be carted off in an ambulance as an emotional basket case.
My role is to decide on the programme every 3 years. I am the Gloucester Artistic Director. This is my second festival, and although there is a committee, basically like all good committees, they just do what they're told, and what happens this week is my vision. And my counterparts, Hereford and Worcester, offer something similar in the years when it is in Hereford or Worcester.
Our involvement with the festival started 40 years ago when Bill was in the cathedral choir, and I decided that I would join as well.
If you can't beat them, join them. You are teamed up with one of the great orchestras of the world. To be able to sing on the same stage as the Philharmonia Orchestra and under some wonderful conductors, including our own directors of music, the end product is always remarkable, and set it within the acoustic of somewhere like Gloucester Cathedral, and you have something which can be truly magical.
It is having to change because we can't assume any longer that we are going to receive funding other than the funding that we raise ourselves. We have to explore and learn and develop in order to justify the use of public funds.
I don't even own a morning suit. In some ways I would quite like to respect the tradition, but actually I want to be real, and I don't have one, and I won't wear one. This is what I do have and what I do wear. But I'm still pleased that there are people who do wear a morning suit. I think that's a lovely bit of continuity, but it's not me.
In some ways I'm quite excited about it all. In other ways I feel quite emotional because it's the last night, you know, and hours and hours and hours and weeks and weeks and weeks of work, you know, and it's all come to an end.
My ambition for the festival in 10 years' time is to have it on everyone's lips. It's when they think British choral tradition, they think about us. They don't think about Edinburgh or the proms, they think about us.